which they have purchased are not for trade purpose. Correct? Are they? Are they for trade purpose? The machinery, the plant, the patents, the license which they have acquired, are these things for the trade purpose?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, they are not. So we do not call those things as goods. What do we call them? What do we call them?
Assets.
We call them as assets. Okay. So we just noted another term, assets. Fine. So how we understand assets? This can be the most found definition in the books: tangible or intangible. Say tangible objects. I can write tangible objects or intangible rights. Fine. Tangible objects or intangible rights. Hold for future use. And why do we hold them? To make or to take benefits. Fine. And helps in generating revenue. Okay. So when I say the assets, these are some tangible objects or intangible rights which we hold for future use, and it helps us to, or we take benefits out of this, and we generate revenue out of this. Fine. So whenever you do purchase any goods, that too on credit, it should be recorded in purchase journal. Okay. Similarly, the credit sales of goods. So again, the goods definition remain the same. So whatever the goods now, we let's continue with the same example, that I am a pharmacist. The pharma company is the one who manufactures the medicine. Now, as a pharmacist, I sell those medicine to the retailers, to the consumers actually. Now, as a retail outlet, a pharmacy, we sell medicines. So again, these medicines are goods for me. Okay. So the medicine which I am purchasing from the suppliers, I will be again selling them. So whenever I do sell this medicine, it will be and if it is on credit sale, then I will be recording that credit sale in the journal, sales journal. Okay. Now, if there is a credit purchase of asset or there is a credit sale of asset, where do we record? It cannot be recorded in either in purchase book or in sales journal. No. If it is a credit purchase or sale of asset, it cannot be recorded in purchase journal or sales journal. Fine. Now, the cash book is again for all cash transaction, any nature of transaction, any nature of cash transaction, whether it's a revenue receipt, whether it's a capital receipt, whether it's a revenue payment, or whether it's a capital payment or revenue expenditure, capital expenditure, doesn't matter. But if it is a cash transaction, it would be recorded in the cash book. Okay. So here we again come to a new term, capital expenditure. Okay. Or revenue, capital expenditure or income, and revenue, expenditure or income. Can somebody differentiate these two? You can also use examples. Capital expenditure or income. Similarly, revenue, expenditure or income. Yes. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
So capital expenditure is something
some expenses made by the company in the way of investment, like maybe purchasing of any asset can be capital expenditure.
Okay. So purchase of asset. Fine. And what is revenue expenditure then?
That can be like investment.
So the revenue expenditure is the ongoing operation, which are short-term expenses. Means which are the expenses done in the daily basis.
Okay. So let me just make a little bit of change in the way, so that daily expenses, correct? Hmm? Is it correct, Sakshi?
Yes, it is correct.
Huh? Now, to be very precise, when I say capital expenditure, these are first of all, these are long-term investments. Long-term investment in assets, right? And the identification of or the differentiation between the capital expenditure and revenue expenditure, you can very easily make it out from the duration. Okay, from the duration in which the benefit is derived. Okay, duration of benefit derived, as simple. Fine. Now, if I consider this, the duration will be here long term, and here it will be short term. Fine. So over one financial year, as simple, within same financial year. So if it is a capital expenditure, the benefit will come to you over a one financial year. Like for example, if I am buying a car, fine, I am buying a delivery van, say for example, for the delivery of goods, the pharmacy, the medicines which I am producing. So when I am buying the delivery van, I would be using it for multiple years. Fine, as long as the car van is in a position to use, I will be using it. So the purchase of delivery van is what? It's a capital expenditure because it's a long-term investment. Secondly, this is something which will give me the benefit in long run. Is that understood?
Yes.
Is that fine? Now comparing the same example in a different way, taking the same example in a different way, that if I hire a delivery van to deliver my medicines produced to a destination, so I'm hiring it now. I'm not buying the car. Fine. So whatever the rental I'm paying for the hire of the delivery van, will it be a capital expenditure?
Revenue expenditure.
No, sir.
No, because the benefit would be only for the period for which I have hired the van. Is it understood? Which may be one day, 2 day, 1 week, 2 week, maybe even 1 month as well.
Yes, sir.
Fine. In fact, in that case, if suppose you have taken a delivery van on a rental basis, as a say you have a lease, maybe a contract for 1 year. So whatever rentals you are paying monthly, those will be your revenue expenditure, not the capital expenditure. Understood? So the difference between the capital expenditure and revenue expenditure is the benefit, the duration of benefit in which uh, the benefits derives to you, comes to you. Fine. So in case of your uh, capital expenditure, which are the long-term investments, the benefit will be long-term over one financial year. It has to be more than a period of 12 months. ठीक है, 12 महीने से ज्यादा होना पड़ेगा. So whenever so the cash book records all cash transaction, whether it be capital or revenue, doesn't matter. Fine. The cash flow should be there. Fine. That means whether cash inflow or cash outflow. If that is taking place, it's a cash transaction and it must be recorded in cash book, irrespective of the nature. Uh, capital income. Yes. Capital income or revenue, you can say, is again long term, non-recurring. Fine. Non-recurring means not a daily day-to-day operation, not a day-to-day income for you. Like for example, if I am selling goods, say this is short term and recurring in nature. Now the best example you can say sale of goods. Fine. So the goods which you have produced and you are selling, it will be short term. Means periodically, the moment you produce some goods, you would be selling those. Fine. Capital income, which is non-recurring in nature. Say for example, sale of assets. So the assets may not be sold every day. They are very unusual in our practice. Fine. We do not sell our assets all the day. So such things, such revenue which will be generated from the sale of assets will be capital income in a way. Or sometime some gain, some capital gain. These are also your, in a way, your capital income. Fine. Like for example, if I have a property and if I sell it at a price which is higher than the price or the cost at which I have acquired, the gain I am making out of it, that is a capital income. Understood? So even you can have a little bit of more distinction: capital receipt and income. So by the sale of asset, what you receive is your capital receipt, and the profit you make on it, that's a gain, that's the income. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So the capital income, revenue income, whatever it be, if it's a cash transaction, it would be recorded in cash flow. Fine. Ashish, are you with us?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any point? If you want further explanation, just let me know.
Yes, sir. Sure.
Now the bills payable and bills receivable, these are again some books which are actually recorded for the bills of exchange. Fine. This is a financial instrument, actually negotiable instrument, which is used in trade for basically regularizing the payments. Fine. So for example, if I sell some goods to Ashish and it's a credit transaction, let's consider that. So I need to assure that Ashish pays me on time. So what I can do, I can draw a bill on Ashish that okay, you pay me some money for the value which you have received from me after 2 months, after 3 months. Now Ashish accepts this bill and return it to me. Now in my books, it will be a bill receivable from me, and in Ashish's books, it would be a bills payable for him. So both of us would be recording it. So I will be recording such bills in my bills receivable books, and Ashish will be recording that in the bills payable book. Correct? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now, all such bills which either you have received from somebody, or all those bills which you have accepted and given it to somebody else, must be recorded over here. Okay? Now, the credit note or the debit note, these are basically for the return of goods. Fine. Now, when you have sold some goods priorly to somebody, to a customer on credit, and now the customer returns goods to you, so you would be preparing a statement or maybe a document which is known as credit note. Okay. Now that credit note would be basically will have the details of the party whose account has been created for the goods return. Fine. We'll further understand this in coming classes when you will be understanding this term debit and credit once again. So actually what happens when we sell goods to a person on credit, we debit the person's account. Fine. So those I assume all of you know a little bit of accounting. So if suppose I have sold goods on credit to Sushil, so what journal I will be passing, or maybe what accounting I will do, I will first debit the Sushil's account and I will credit my sales account. Okay. Now if suppose in future Sushil returns some goods to me, now what I have to do, I have to credit his account for the value of the goods which he has returned to me. Fine. So thereby I will be drafting, I will be preparing a credit note for maintaining the record of the goods which are being returned by my customers to whom I have sold them on credit. Similarly, when we purchase goods, we may also return to others. Okay. So at that time, we will receive a note which will be called as, for us, which will be a debit note. So the debit note will be used to record the return of goods which were purchased on credit earlier. Understood? Now, all the above, like how many we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All these 7 books are very much specialized in nature. Fine, they only record some specific transactions. Now, what about the other transactions which will not find any place in any of this book? Like for example, a credit purchase of asset. Where do we record it? In the purchase book, we only record the purchase of goods. If the object which you have purchased is not a good, it is an asset, it cannot be recorded over here. Here it cannot be recorded. So where do we record it? We record it in the journal proper. Understood? Similarly, if it is a credit sale of asset, it cannot be recorded over here because it is only for the credit sale of goods. So where do we record it? In the journal proper. Fine. If suppose there are some adjustment entries or some closing entries to be passed, some rectification entries to be passed, where do we record it? We record them in journal proper. Fine. So this is for any transaction which cannot be recorded in any of the above books. Understood? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So as a beginner, when you start recording the transactions, you will find that the transactions are recorded in journal, and the journals in any of these software, accounting software, you'll find you will have all these different heads, this 8 different heads, and transactions on the basis of their nature are recorded in this 8 different heads. Understood? Now, once this is done, once the primary entry is done, the next process comes as the classification. Now, this is done with the help of ledger accounts. Fine. Now, in the classroom, you might have learned the process that how from journal entries the postings are done to the ledger. Have you learned that process? Anybody who do not know posting from journals to ledger? Now, again, ledger is a separate set of book where we do have information about some specific nature of transactions. Like for example, if I want to know about the sales, I will look at the sales account. Okay, in my ledger book, that will reveal all the information about the sales. If suppose Simran is one of my customer, I want to know that how much amount is due from Simran. सिमरन से मुझे कितने पैसे मिलने हैं, तो मैं क्या करूंगा, मैं लेजर बुक में जाऊंगा, मैं सिमरन का अकाउंट खोलूंगा. That Simran account will give me the detailed information about my transaction with Simran. Fine. If suppose I want to know how much of machinery I do hold on a particular date, आज के दिन में मेरा कितना machinery है, उसका valuation क्या है, then I will go to the machinery account and I will find details of all the machineries which I have. Understood? So an account, here we can introduce one word, account, a summary of transactions related to any person. Fine. Class of asset, expenses, income, expenses and losses, income and gains. Fine. So what is an account? It's a summary of transactions related to any person, any class of asset, expense, losses, income and gains. Okay. So all these accounts you will find in the ledger book. Okay. And how we do it? In your classrooms, you might have learned the posting process. That means by looking at the journal one by one, transferring the transaction to the ledger account. I believe you people have done that part.
Yes, sir.
Anyone who do not know what I'm talking about when I say posting from journal to ledger? Anyone in the class? No. Okay. So in the ledger, you will find multiple accounts created for all these different categories, like person. Fine. So when I say person, it can be natural, artificial, representative. Fine. Like me, you people, we are natural person. Artificial person like Walk Skill. Walk Skill Private Limited is a artificial person. Representative person. Fine. Like for example, I can say that Dr. Aarti is a representative person. She represent the work skill. Fine. So that is representative person. Fine. Class of asset, you understand. When I say asset, it's clear. Any tangible or intangible holdings. Fine, like plant, machinery, cash, stock. These are all tangible. Patents, copyrights, license, trademark. These are all intangible. Expenses, losses, incomes, and gains. Fine. Any expense or loss, like
Sir.
salaries. Yes.
Yes, sir. May I request you something?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you just check with them if they are okay with completely English language, or you need to, add some Hindi words also somewhere, because just check with them if they all are comfortable in case.
I do remember, like in the last class also, some of them requested to use a little bit of Hindi as well.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Now, actually, problem क्या होती है कि say I am a Hindi speaking person. I know Hindi very well. But when it comes to the classroom, and especially जब accounting की बात करते हैं, अब यहाँ पे accounting का अगर मैं हिंदी वर्ड ढूंढने जाऊँ, accounts का से फॉर एग्जांपल, तो accounts का हिंदी वर्ड होगा बही खाता. अब मैं इनको बही खाता बोलूंगा तो इनके दिमाग से ऊपर, तो ठीक है, मैं कोशिश करता हूँ. सो जब हम पर्सन बोलते हैं तो वो एक नेचुरल पर्सन भी हो सकता है, आर्टिफिशियल पर्सन भी हो सकता है, रिप्रेजेंटेटिव पर्सन भी हो सकता है. ठीक है. नेचुरल पर्सन लाइक जैसे हम ह्यूमन बींग्स की बात कर रहे हैं, मी, यू, वी ऑल आर नेचुरल पर्सन. ठीक है. जब हम आर्टिफिशियल पर्सन बोल रहे हैं तो हम किसी एंटिटी की बात करते हैं, लीगल एंटिटी की, किसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की, जैसे कि स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया, दैट इज आर्टिफिशियल पर्सन. ठीक है. जैसे वॉक स्किल एक आर्टिफिशियल पर्सन है. ठीक है. रिप्रेजेंटेटिव पर्सन जब कोई एक अकाउंट किसी पर्सन को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा हो. ठीक है. जैसे कि मान लो कि आपने जो शेयर परचेस किए, मान लो अगर आपने किसी कंपनी में शेयर परचेस किए, ठीक है, तो जो शेयर कैपिटल होगा वो किसको रिप्रेजेंट करता है? किसी भी कंपनी का जो टोटल शेयर कैपिटल है वो किसको रिप्रेजेंट करता है? यस, हेलो
सर कंपनी को
ना. शेयर कैपिटल तो ठीक है, शेयर कैपिटल इज दी is with the company, that's okay, but to whom it represent the multiple shareholders. जो कंपनी के अकाउंट में, कंपनी के रिकॉर्ड्स में जो शेयर कैपिटल लिखा हुआ है, वो शेयर कैपिटल किसका है?
शेयर
shareholders का.
सॉरी.
Right? So that share capital represent the multiple shareholders. वो जितने भी शेयर होल्डर्स है उनको वो रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है. तो इनफैक्ट एक तरह से हमारा जो कैपिटल अकाउंट होता है वो भी एक पर्सन है, वो रिप्रेजेंटेटिव पर्सन है. सही है, समझ में आ रहा है? ठीक है. जैसे हम बोलते हैं डेटर्स एंड क्रेडिटर्स, आप लोगों ने ये दो टर्म सुने होंगे, डेटर
यस सर.
एंड क्रेडिटर. डेटर्स एंड क्रेडिटर्स. तो ये डेटर्स कौन है? हु आर दिस डेटर्स? डिफरेंट पर्सन है कि नहीं? और क्रेडिटर्स कौन है? ये भी पर्सन है. अब इनसे पैसा हमें मिलना है, अमाउंट टू बी रिसीव्ड फ्रॉम देम. और ये जो क्रेडिटर्स जब हम बोलते हैं, अमाउंट्स टू बी पेड टू देम, बट एट द एंड ऑफ द डे दे आर पर्सन. करेक्ट? समझ में आ रहा है?
यस सर.
ठीक है. तो यहाँ पे एक कंक्लूजन और मिलता है कि ये जो पर्सन होता है, जब हम बोलते हैं कि एक पर्सन अकाउंट, एक पर्सन का अकाउंट है, चाहे वो नेशनल पर्सन हो, आर्टिफिशियल पर्सन हो या रिप्रेजेंटेटिव पर्सन हो, उसको अगर मैं कैटेगराइज करना चाहूँ कि एक पर्सन का अकाउंट क्या होगा, वो या तो मेरा एसेट होगा और या वो मेरा लाइबिलिटी होगा। करेक्ट? समझ में आ रहा है? जब भी एक मैं पर्सन अकाउंट बोलूंगा, किसी भी पर्सन का जब मैं अकाउंट बोलूंगा, वो क्या होगा? वो या तो मेरा एसेट होगा या वो मेरा लाइबिलिटी होगा। इसके अलावा और तीसरा कुछ नहीं हो सकता। इज देयर अंडरस्टूड?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
किसी भी एक बिजनेस की, एनी बिजनेस, फाइन, व्हेन अ बिजनेस हैव अ रिलेशन विद अ पर्सन, व्हाट सॉर्ट ऑफ रिलेशन इट कैन बी? एक बिजनेस का किसी पर्सन के साथ में जब हम रिलेशन की बात करेंगे, हम तो बिजनेस रिलेशन की बात कर रहे हैं, भाई बंधु दोस्त यार हस्बैंड वाइफ, वो रिलेशन की बात तो नहीं कर रहे। तो एक बिजनेस का एक पर्सन के साथ में जो रिलेशन है, वो क्या क्या चीज का रिलेशन हो सकता है? दैट रिलेशन वुड बी ओनली, इट कैन बी टू काइंड ऑफ रिलेशन। या तो उस बंदे को मुझे पैसे देने हैं या उससे मुझे पैसे लेने हैं, ये दो ही रिलेशन है मेरा उससे। तो अगर मुझे उसको देना है कुछ तो वो मेरा लाइबिलिटी है, वो मेरा क्रेडिटर है। अगर उससे मुझसे कुछ लेना है तो वो मेरा क्या है? एसेट है। ठीक है? इसीलिए देखो आप, जो शेयर कैपिटल होता है, वो शेयर कैपिटल हम लाइबिलिटी में लिखते हैं। क्यों? क्योंकि शेयर कैपिटल रिप्रेजेंट करता है कि कितना पैसे मुझे मेरे शेयर होल्डर्स को वापस करने। समझ में आ रहा है? ठीक है?
यस सर।
Yes, sir.
डेटर्स को हम एसेट्स बोलते हैं। तो वो रिप्रेजेंट करता है कि हमें, जिनको मैंने क्रेडिट में माल बेचा है या मैंने किसी को उधार बाकी दी है, कुछ किसी को लोन दिया है, तो उनसे मुझे कितना पैसा मिलना है, वो रिप्रेजेंट करता है मेरा
Debtors.
डेटर्स, रिसीवेबल्स, एक्चुअली अकाउंट रिसीवेबल्स। सिंस यस्टरडे नाइट एक्चुअली आई एम हैविंग लिटिल बिट ऑफ इन्फेक्शन, गले में थोड़ा सा थ्रोट इन्फेक्शन होकर रखा है, तो बोलते वक्त तो पेन कर रहा है। That is what you understand by the personal accounts. When I say class of assets, तो वो तो assets represent कर रहे हैं। ठीक है? Expenses, losses, income, gains, these are self-explanatory terms. But here I would like to ask one question to you guys. How you differentiate expense and loss? Yes? How you differentiate this? Yes? Anyone quickly? Poonam?
Sir, it can be based on the occurrence.
No,
Like expenses are
not on occurrence. Anybody else? Okay, what is the common thing between these two? Similarity within an expense and loss. What is the similarity?
the money is going out.
Okay, let me use a better term: resource. Similarity is loss of, or I can say reduction in resources. Whether it's an expense or loss, my resources are reducing. Correct? Is that acceptable?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
It
sir.
can,
Yes sir.
it may not be all the time money. It may be some any other resource as well. So there is a reduction in resource. So that's a similarity. Now, what is the difference? I've given you guys a clue. Quickly.
Sir, expenses are you means expenses are incurred to generate revenues, while losses are incurred much more frequently.
The first statement was a little bit convincing. I thought you are on the right track, but again, the second statement is
सर
something misleading.
लेकिन एक्सपेंसेस जो ये होता है कि जो डेली बेसिस पे किया जाता है लाइक अ पार्ट ऑफ रेवेन्यू,
Hmm.
और लॉसेस ये होता है कि लाइक लास्ट वो फाइनेंशियल ईयर पे जो हम लोग ये करते हैं ना
नहीं नहीं नहीं
ट्रांजैक्शन एंड ऑल.
नहीं नहीं नहीं. I
So
can understand.
losses may actually the resource is also gone. Like you said, reduction in the resource. Like for an example, if we are selling anything, the goods are also gone, and the money which we have received, that is also on a lesser note. We can say that way.
Sir, expenses would be those, sir, which we spend on daily basis, but we don't gain it again. For example, if I'm traveling to somewhere in terms of any business related work, but I spend that money, I won't get that back. Whereas losses are those, sir, which occur due to giving some goods to someone or any kind of service to someone, and in return also I am in loss. I am not getting it back.
So I can understand Sushil is to some extent on the track. So see, the very difference, the very basic difference is that when you do an expense, then you incurred an expense, you get something in return. Right? So let me reframe what Sushil was trying to say. Say I'm traveling, I'm paying uh, the car rental. Am I getting something in back? Am I getting something in back?
So can
Am I receiving any benefit?
you repeat the question?
Say for example, I am traveling somewhere and I am paying the car rental. मैंने एक ओला लिया, उसको मैं 500 रुपीज रेंटल पे कर रहा हूँ. तो ये जो 500 रुपीज मेरा रिसोर्स में रिडक्शन हुआ, मेरे पास 1000 रुपए थे, उसमें से 500 चले गए, उसके बदले में मुझे कुछ मिला क्या? हाँ नहीं.
सर वो सर्विस मिला ना सर, जो हमने हायर किया कार, दैट्स इट. उसके अलावा कुछ नहीं.
That is a benefit, no? That is the benefit.
Yes sir.
So you made a expense, आपने कार रेंटल आपने एक एक्सपेंस किया, उसके बदले में आपको सर्विस मिली. करेक्ट? आपने स्टाफ को सैलरी पे करी, उसको हम एक्सपेंस बोलते हैं, उसको हम लॉस नहीं बोलते. क्यों नहीं बोलते? क्योंकि वो स्टाफ आपको सर्व कर रहा है. वो आपके वहां पे 1 महीने काम किया, आपको उसने सर्विस प्रोवाइड करी, उसके बदले आपने उसको सैलरी पे करी. दैट्स एन एक्सपेंस. ठीक है? मेरी कार है, उसको रिपेयर करवा रहा हूँ, वो क्या है? रिपेयर इज एन एक्सपेंस बिकॉज आई एम गेटिंग द बेनिफिट. बट व्हेन इट्स अ लॉस, देयर इज नो रिटर्न. लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल, व्हेन आई वाज ट्रेवलिंग थ्रू द कार, मैं ओला में गया, वहां पे मेरा वॉलेट गिर गया, उसमें 500 रुपए थे, वो गिर गए और वो वहीं छूट गए. तो मैंने 500 रुपए रेंटल पे किया और बाकी 500 मेरे गिर गए. तो ये 500 जो मैंने उसको रेंटल पे किया वो मेरा एक्सपेंस है, और जो बाकी के 500 जो मेरे गिर गए वहां पे, उसके रिटर्न में कुछ मिला
नहीं सर.
No.
वो लॉस है. फाइन. सो when it's a expense, you have something in return. For expense, there will be return, and for loss, no return. तो घर पे अगर आग लग जाए और उसमें सामान कुछ जल जाए, वो क्या होगा? लॉस. अगर चोर आए घर पे और चोरी करके चला जाए, वो क्या होगा? वो क्या? लॉस. क्योंकि चोर वापस 10,000 का सामान लेके गया, 10,000 का छोड़ के थोड़ी जाता है वापस वो. ठीक है? वो क्या है? लॉस है. ठीक है? बट अगर मैं घर का इंश्योरेंस करवा रहा हूँ, आई एम पेइंग द इंश्योरेंस प्रीमियम, दैट इज माई एक्सपेंस. अंडरस्टूड?
Yes sir.
सो So in the classification process, you will find that we have to maintain ledger accounts. Now again, coming back to the accounting software thing, accounting software. Now the good part of accounting software is when you start doing the accounting, the very first thing is that we create multiple accounts, or even if you have not created an account prior to it, so at the time of doing the journal, you have to first create the account. Okay, so we first create the account and then we do the journal. Now when you do the journal, the accounting software takes place, or it take care of the ledger posting part itself. Okay, what does it mean? It means that you need not to do this ledger posting part once again. Fine, it will take care of itself. आपने जर्नल एंट्री पास करी, वो अकाउंटिंग सॉफ्टवेयर खुद ही उसको लेजर पोस्टिंग कर देगा. आपको फिर से लेजर में, जैसे हम क्लासरूम में जैसे सीखते हैं मैनुअली कि पहले जर्नल बनाओ, जर्नल से फिर लेजर में पोस्टिंग करो, ऐसा सॉफ्टवेयर में नहीं करना होता है. ओके, सो लेजर पोस्टिंग इज डन automatically. Fine, it is done by the software itself. So we create a company, we create a business entity, and then by we just record the journals. We just record, we pass on the journal entries, and then the software itself will post them to the ledger. So whatever we are learning when it comes to the practical field, fine, you have to be very thorough with the journal entries. Rest of the thing, the accounting software will take care of it. Preparation of trial balance, no need to do it at your own. The software will generate. Income statement, balance sheet, everything will be done by the software. But you must have the basic knowledge, so as you can read those statements. Understood?
Yes.
Am I
Yes, sir.
are you able to follow me? ठीक है, तो वो आपका अपने आप सॉफ्टवेयर खुद करेगा. आपको तो सिर्फ ट्रांजैक्शन आइडेंटिफाई करके उसका जर्नल पास करना है. बट यस, you have to have a thorough understanding of this accounting terms, क्योंकि आपने सॉफ्टवेयर क्या है उसको में तो in the software you have to define first. When you create an account, you have to define what account it is. उसको नहीं पता है कि आप अगर राम अकाउंट लिख रहे हो या सिमरन अकाउंट लिख रहे हो तो सिमरन अकाउंट को क्या डिफाइन करना चाह रहे हो आप. वो सिमरन जो है वो डेटर है या क्रेडिटर है, वो आपको डिफाइन करना पड़ेगा. ठीक है, जब आप फर्नीचर अकाउंट लिख रहे हो तो फर्नीचर को आप क्या ट्रीट कर रहे हो, आप उसको गुड्स ट्रीट कर रहे हो, स्टॉक में ट्रीट कर रहे हो, या उसको एसेट ट्रीट कर रहे हो, वो आपको बताना पड़ेगा उसको. सो अनलेस एंड अंटिल यू डू नॉट हैव द थॉरो नॉलेज ऑफ दिस अकाउंट बेसिक अकाउंटिंग, will not be able to do this. Okay, so this account is summary of any transaction related to any person, class of asset, expense or losses, income or gain. Fine. Now finally, when you have recorded your transactions, you have created multiple accounts, you have recorded them, the final process is the summarizing. Okay, how do I summarize this transaction? With the help of financial statements. Okay, so when I say financial statements, which are the most commonly used or known financial statement? Quickly.
Trading account, P&L, balance sheet, cash flow.
Trading and PL account. I can call it as simple income statement. Fine. Then what else?
Balance sheet.
Hmm?
Balance sheet. Cash flow statement.
Sir, profit and loss account.
That
Profit
is
and
there,
loss
na?
account.
Trading and PL we have already written, or income statement, balance sheet,
Cash flow
fine.
statement.
Cash flow statement. What else? Anything else? Yes. There is also one called fund flow
Funds.
statement, which is not that in practice actually. Yes. What else? Okay. Statement of written earnings, and there are a few more statements or statement transactions we also not transactions statements we prepared, but those are not mandatory, like value added statement. Fine. Economic value added statement is economic value added statement. Right. uh, CSR reports, corporate governance report, environmental report, but those are not called as statement. Actually, there are some different reports. But broadly, when I say financial statements, we mean this only. The trading and the PL or income statement, balance sheet, cash flow statement, fund flow, statement of return earnings. This may not be that known to you guys. Fine, not a problem. Fund flow statement is again something which is not uh, being used nowadays by most of the companies. They do not prepare it because the cash flow statements gives more reliable and more comprehensive information in a way. ठीक है, कैश फ्लो स्टेटमेंट में ज्यादा इन्फॉर्मेशन मिलती है, comprehensive रहता है, more reliable है, authenticated है. ठीक है. Now the another question, next question to you guys: which statement is the most important to you, or according to you?
Balance sheet.
Okay. So we have one answer to balance sheet. Yes. Anybody else? According to Bilal, it is balance sheet. Others?
Cash flow statement.
Who says cash flow?
Hello.
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 Okay, Poonam. Okay, cash flow. Fine. What else?
Trading and profit and loss account or income account, maybe. Income statement.
Income statement. ये तीन ही है, इसके अलावा तो कुछ स्टेटमेंट ऑफ रिटर्न अर्निंग्स कैन बी द अदर आंसर.
Balance sheet. Balance sheet.
Balance sheet.
The balance sheet.
Okay. So there are more inclination towards balance sheet. Now, the most important financial statement is actually the cash flow. Okay? That is the cash flow statement, most important. Fine. So I think Poonam answered that the cash flow is the most important one. So we will first request Poonam to justify why. Why does the thought that cash flow statement is the most important one? Yes,
So,
Poonam.
so because it summarizes all the operations, like the flow of cash in an organization through operations, through investment, and through the financial activities. So basically, how the funds are coming in, how the funds are going out of an organization, everything is summarized in that particular statement. And everything, like, yeah, that is the main thing, summarization of all the transactions. So that gives us a clear picture about the organization happenings.
True. Very true. And most importantly, the cash flow statement, you can say it's something which is on real time. Right?
Yes,
Because in a cash flow, it cannot be accrued items. Now, just to add on here, accrual basis and cash basis. Okay. So you might also have heard these two terms, accrual basis of accounting and cash basis of accounting. Accrual basis of accounting, cash basis of accounting. Now, what is accrual basis of accounting? When the transactions are recorded on the event when that takes place, irrespective of the cash inflow and outflow. Like for example, if I'm selling goods and the sale is on credit, the accrual basis accounting will allow me to record that sale. But if I am following cash basis of accounting, I cannot record the credit sale unless and until the cash flow do not take place. Understood? So, in fact, in the accounting, the whole accounting which we do, it is on the basis of accrual basis. It is not on cash basis. Understood? And that is the reason we record both type of transaction, cash transaction, non-cash transactions. Fine. So the cash flow statement is something which is actually on a cash basis. What are the real fund flows? What are the real cash which is coming in the business, going out from the business, and that too specifically from fine, and that too that cash flow is categorized on the basis of different types of operations. Not operations, actually, the better word would be the different types of financial activities. Okay, so when I say activities, means the transactions which we are doing, we can categorize them into three. One is the operational, which are my day-to-day affairs. Fine, core business activities. These are operational activity. The other is the financing activity. Okay, means where I am investing my how do I generating funds, from where I am getting my capital, that is financing activity. And the investment activity, that means whatever the funds I have generated or I have earned, I have accumulated through my operations, how am I making the investment of those? So it gives you a comprehensive picture of your transactions, and from each of the activity, from each of this type of these three categories, how much of funds you are generating. Right? Whereas if you look at the income statement or the balance sheet, these are actually which are more prepared on, like if you first take example, first consider the income statement. That income statement is prepared on accrual basis. Okay. Now this accrual basis is what? This is something actually where uh, outstanding transactions are also recorded. Just give me a minute, guys. So the income statement which you prepare, that is prepared on accrual basis. And that's why if you remember, we do adjustment for outstanding expenses, prepaid expenses. Fine. So all this, which the items which the net profit, say for say the outcome of the income statement is a net profit or net loss. That do not give you the real what you say the financial performance of the company. Fine, because it's all on accrual basis. Now coming to balance sheet, if you again recall, the balance sheet is prepared or represent the historical figures. The assets which are recorded in the balance sheet are recorded on historical value. They are not recorded in the market value. So the balance sheet also do not gives you a real picture of your business. Okay. So the most important is the cash flow statement. Okay. Now, luckily, with the help of accounting softwares, all these things are prepared by the software itself. Fine. But the input has to be given by you. Okay. Is it understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Now, what I suggest to all of you that before we start or before we continue to the next lecture, actually, uh, all of you are through the accounting process, the basic accounting. Fine. So our focus, as I have already mentioned in the previous class, will be on the financial accounting. The cost management are not the part of the syllabus or the program which you have taken. Fine. So you might have heard the cost accounting and the management accounting. What is forensic accounting? Does anybody have any idea? What is forensic accounting? Anyone? Hello.
No, sir.
These are all types of accounting. Okay.
Sir,
These are
is it
all,
related to forex trading and all?
uh, what is the origin of this term? If you can make a guess, you'll be able to answer.
Is it related
Forensic,
to the audit part? The auditing,
not exactly auditing.
investment,
It comes even later to that.
investigation and stuff.
See, whatever the accounting crimes or frauds taking place, can we prevent it? Fine. The manipulations which is done in the accounting, yes, auditors do that. But even after the auditors, the crimes are taking place, accounting frauds are taking place. So to identify that, there is an accounting science which has been developed, which is called forensic accounting. Fine. In fact, now as a part of the ICW or in the CA program also, this forensic accounting modules are there. These are important, and you have to have a certification on this as well. That how do you identify that? Yes, before the fraud is detected, is there any manipulation which is being taken and done in the accounts, books of accounts? Okay, so there are different processes. There are different even techniques actually, which can be used, and you can determine some common, you can say, patterns in the books. Fine. So there are different models actually, and it's a very developing in a developing stage. Right. So that is a forensic accounting. Cost accounting is basically for the uh, recording and summarization of the cost. Sorry, cost component of the goods and services produced. Management accounting takes help of the data or the records which are generated from financial and cost and helps the management in decision making. Okay. So what I suggest uh, to all of you to basically, you can say this is your home assignment or maybe your homework to brush up the uh, rules for debit credit. Fine. Journal entries, Fine. And leisure understanding. Posting is okay. That would be done directly by the software, but we have to understand how the ledgers are done. Trial balance understanding. And the income statement and balance sheet. Fine. So this part, all of you will be coming will come with a brush up, with a you can say revision of whatever you have done or maybe you are doing right now. So I'll be asking you certain questions and I'll just make an assessment how far you people are thorough with these things. Okay? Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any question from the today's class? Anything? Hello? Okay. Dr. Aarti, are you there? That's fine. So guys, we'll let you know the next session. It will be the next weekend actually. Fine. So
Okay, sir.
Dr. Aarti will update you on that through the WhatsApp communication or maybe other way. Fine. And it would be somewhere. Tell me one thing about your availability on Saturday.
So tomorrow or next week?
Every Saturday, not tomorrow actually, but from the next week onward.
Timing would be same, sir.
Timings we will determine. We'll see the timings. But at the same time, all of you should be available. Or else,
Saturday afternoon or evening, it will be okay.
Sir, Saturday evening would be okay.
okay.
Like 4 to 6 or 3 to 4, 5 like that, sir.
Fine, I will do one thing. I will request Dr. Aarti to just have a conversation with you, or maybe communication with you guys to fix up a date. Dr. Aarti,
Yes, sir.
हाँ मैम, हम लोग एक्चुअली बात कर रहे थे कि इनका जो नेक्स्ट सेशन होगा वो हम संडे को ही रखेंगे या सैटरडे को होगा इनका?
So I think Saturday would be more convenient. Saturday evenings would be better for two reasons: for your schedule as well as for the schedule of Ashish, because then his availability is also, like most of the time is on Saturdays, on Sundays only. So Saturday evening is something which is mostly available. If you have any, your colleges are on Saturdays.
Yes, ma'am. Morning.
Dr. Rohit, your colleges.
So I have a weekend of Saturday and Saturday. Saturday and Sundays are off for me. But yes, on Sunday we already have other.
Another batches are, some of the batches are there on Sundays.
So I have to keep myself engaged for Sunday as well. So I'm looking from that aspect, that if I keep both on the same day, so at least Saturday I can give to time for other things.
Okay, then we'll check with the students once the class is over. I'll check either
Sunday
Saturday or Sunday evening. We will figure out something and accordingly we'll schedule.
Ma'am, Sunday is anyway is available for all of us, right? And as we have already committed ourselves for some extra earning, so we have to also take some extra pain. So whether it is Sunday or Saturday, we have to resolve that part. But looking at the constraint, I would prefer to have it on Sunday only, so that both the classes happens on Sunday only, and at least for one day I will keep myself free for other works.
Sure. I'll just discuss with the students and I'm sure they all are okay with Sunday evenings. Guys, you are okay with Sunday evenings?
Can it be in the morning part, ma'am? Sunday morning?
Morning, you have another batch, sir.
That's from 11, I believe.
That's at 11, but then we have another batches. Few more batches are there.
Okay, we will discuss it. We'll discuss it and we'll fix up the time there. Okay, ma'am?
Okay.
Okay, guys, take care.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rohit, and thank you everyone for joining. Have a good day.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.